I'm very excited to share this new agent that I have built with you. This is my senior Instagram carousel agent. I created this agent because I wanted to have the most efficient way of creating carousel posts for Instagram. I didn't want to go through and manually have to add text to the slides, download it, and then have to post it out to Instagram. I wanted an agent to do it for me. So how this tool works, or how this agent works, is we give the agent a topic to work with. Create a carousel on this topic. It then uses Google search to find 4 to 6 key points on that topic. It will then create and plan out carousels based on its finding. So it writes a caption. It then creates 7 slides. I've chosen 7 slides, but you can expand on this if you wish. Slide 1 will always be a hook to grab attention. Slide 2 to 6 will be key points with 1 on each slide. And then slide 7 is going to be a summary and a call to action. Once we are happy with the carousel post, the slides, the text that it has created, we can ask the agent to post that to Airtable, where I have created a base where we store the post and the slides. It is in this Airtable base that we have an automation where if we change the status of the publish field from pending to post, we have a make scenario that is triggered. Then it will send those slides to the tool Placid, where those slides will be designed and created. And once we have 7 of them, they are posted to Instagram as one carousel. So it's really simple to use. The reason I've used Placid instead of something well-known like Canva is because I initially wanted to create this using Canva. However, to be able to use Canva's API for custom integrations, you need to have an enterprise account. And so I decided to go with Placid instead, and I've had great results with it. So this agent has very limited human interaction. All we do is give it a topic, and then once we are in Airtable, we can change that status field and everything is done for us. So let's go into Instagram and I will show you an example of a post that was created using this agent. So over here on my Instagram, this is the carousel that was designed, created, and sent to Instagram. On every slide, we have a heading, we have subtext, and we have subtext, and it's the same theme across every slide. Now, I will say one thing. You can see here that we have a bit of spacing issue. I haven't spent a lot of time in Placid really mapping out the design. It's quite a rough job because I just wanted to see if it worked first, and it does. However, if you had a set amount of text per placing and you had that consistency in sizing as well, it would look better. However, as I said, I just wanted to see if it works, and it does work. So when you clone this, when you make this your own, you can play around with the text, the sizing, the design, the layout, because we have a template that is created in Placid that gets populated with the text that is sent over from Airtable. So let's go and check out the agent in action. So I created this agent using Relevance. I know this platform now quite well and I like how it works. So let's give an example. Let's give a topic to our agent and I can show you how this runs. So the first step it should do, it should use a Google search tool, which it has done. And then it has researched the topic, and then it should create our carousel post. Cool, so it's come back to us and it said this is the core content of the carousel from the information that it has researched, and it has created this in a JSON structured format. The reason we did this in JSON is so it can be sent across to Airtable, as that's how it is received in our make scenario. So let's have a look at this. We can see that we've got the caption, we've got the post title, we have placeholder text. Each one of these groups is the slide, and then we have our call to action at the end. Let's say that we are happy with this. To Airtable. Now I'm going to tell it to please also make sure it sends this to the tool in the correct JSON format, because I have been having some errors where the agent will add in a few more invalid characters and cause an error. So let's say, please ensure you send this to the tool in the correct JSON format. I have added these instructions in the prompt as well, but we have had a few errors. So fingers crossed this works. Okay, perfect. This has worked. This has done exactly what I wanted it to do. It has populated the tool with the JSON. So let's approve that. And if we come over to Airtable, this should show up down here, and it has done. Perfect. So while we're in Airtable, I will show you what we have set up here. We have two tables, post and slide. Both contain the same information. It's just a different way of viewing the content. So for post, we have the title, we have the caption. Within slides, we have the slides of that post, and then we have the option to change pending to post when we want to send it out to Instagram. And if we click post, the carousels will be created in Placid and then sent out to Instagram. We won't do that right now. If we go to slides, we have the same thing in a different layout where you can see the placeholder text for each slide, the post that it belongs to, the caption, and then the option to publish it. The placeholder text is so this can be mapped to the template we have in Placid. I will show you this in a moment as well. So I hope this makes sense. Back at our relevance agent, we can see that the post has been successfully sent to Airtable. We have been notified that. We saw it come through. So let's go through how this agent works. We have the agent name and description. We have the core instructions, the system prompt, the steps we want it to follow, and we have tagged in the tools that this agent is using, Google search and post to Airtable. Just a reminder, when you are adding in a tool, it is a / and then you have the option to select the tool you want to use. If we come over to tools, we can see that Google search is auto run, so this runs automatically without having to have any approval process. But post to Airtable, approval is required. We want the tool to ask us before sending it across because there could be an error. We might want to make some changes. So if we go through each tool, I'll show you how each one has been set up. So in our Google search tool, the input we have is keyword, research the keyword to find information on the topic. So this would be the topic that we had given the agent, and it would be stored as keyword. Then it uses the built-in module, which is the Google search module built into relevance, and we pass it that keyword, we pass it that topic, and it returns its results. We then have a little bit of JavaScript code saying, if there is no results, just return no search results, try a different query, otherwise return whatever you find from Google search. And then that information is sent back to our agent. So this is a very easy, straightforward, simple tool. And then in our post to Airtable tool, the input that the agent needs to provide is the JSON format, the JSON data of the carousel content, which is sent in here. Then it's saved as JSON. Then we have an API post request sending to our make scenario to post the content to Airtable. So I'll show you how that's set up in make. So we have a webhook, which is receiving the information that is being sent from our post to Airtable tool in relevance. Then we have a create a record module for our post table, where we are sending across the post title and the post caption. Then we have an iterator iterating through the JSON list, the array of data that has been sent for the different placeholders. And then we have create a record for our slides table, where we have gone through each individual placeholder that we saw that was coming through for each slide and mapped that with the record ID and then added in the caption. So all this is sent and stored to our Airtable. So let's say that we've spent some time in relevance and we've created a bunch of carousel posts and we are happy with them and we're ready for some to be sent off to Instagram. As I mentioned earlier, we need to change the publish field from pending to post, and then these would be sent off to Instagram. I thought I'd show you these two make and Airtable side by side so I can explain it better. So this is our scenario in make, which is checking to see if there are any changes to the publish field in Airtable. I originally had this set up to run once daily, but I've turned this off for now, and I'm just going to run it once to show you how this works. So if we click on the Search Records Airtable module, you'll see that we have a formula which is saying if publish is then equal to post, return this information, output this information, which will be grabbing the placeholder text for 1, 2, and 3, grabbing the caption, and then the post ID. And I'll tell you why we need post ID in a moment. We then are setting the variable. This is for the post ID. We'll come back to that. We have an array aggregator, which is basically taking all the output that has come from the search record and putting this into an array. We are then iterating over that array, and then we are sending it to Placid, where we are sending each individual slide text to Placid to be able to create the design, and there will be 7 of them. Then we are taking those images that are received from Placid, and we are putting them into an array aggregator. Then we are sending that to Instagram to be posted. After that, we are then calling on the variable that we set before in Tools, and we are updating the record to ensure that post becomes posted so it doesn't get sent again. I'll show you what I mean. It will then become posted because we don't want it to keep getting triggered. I think the easiest way for me to explain how this works is for me to run it and then walk you through the output. Let's change this one to post, and let's run this once. And Placid is here creating all 7 slides. And that all worked successfully, and post became posted. So I'll just go into my Instagram really quickly and just ensure that it looks okay now that it's live on my Instagram. Great. So let's go through this output in the make scenario so I can explain how it's working. I'll just get rid of the Airtable. So as I mentioned earlier, it was watching to see if publish became post, then it was going to send back the placeholder information, the post ID, the caption. So if we click here, we can see the output is sending us a bunch of bundles, and each bundle contains the information for one slide. It's sending us the placeholder for 1, 2, 3, caption, and the post ID. So the reason we needed to extract the post ID is because at the end we want to update the record, and we want to change post to posted, and it needs to know what record is it updating. So we extracted the record ID from these bundles. So just to show you what the record ID is, each post has its own record ID. The reason why we have tools set variables is because we are trying to store the post ID. So in this first one, we've called it post ID. We're saying we want the first post ID from post. This has been sent across 7 times because there are 7 bundles. We only want the first one. And in this one here, we are saving the output of this tool variable, post ID, and we are storing it as final post ID. I hope that makes sense. So then we have our array aggregator, which is receiving the information, the input from the search records module, and it is storing all of the information in one array. Then we have the iterator, which is going to enable us to iterate through the placeholder text. So in Placid, we have connected our Placid account. We have a template created called Instagram Carousel. And then because of the iterator, we are able to add each individual placeholder text from each slide to Placid to be able to map this across. And because there is 7 of them, it's going to create 7 slides. So if we look at the output, we can see here that it has taken the placeholder text and it has then created this into an image. Let's open up this individual image. And it has done this 7 times. Then we have another array aggregator, which is taking each individual image and storing that in an array, and it's the media type image. And if we look at the output of this, it is storing each of the images in an array so we can map it to our Instagram module. And then if we come to our Instagram module, we are mapping the array from the array aggregator, which is containing all those images. We are sending one caption, because we don't want to send 7 captions, just sending one caption to the caption section, and the output of this is that it was sent across to Instagram. Then over here we are calling the variable final post ID, which is has the post ID stored within it, and we have our last module, update a record, an Airtable, where we are sending the record ID and we're saying change this field from post to posted. So that is a very quick and rushed way of showing you how the scenario is set up, but you can play around with it, you can modify it, and you can expand on it. Now the last thing I want to show you is Placid. I'll show you the template in Placid and how that is set up. And you'll see here how each placeholder is creating the design. So in Placid, we have our template, and this is the one that we are calling on when we are calling in our make scenario. So if we click on this, you'll see that we have a design that we can edit. And as I said before, you can play around with really making this look pretty. If you have the right amount of text, if you have the right sizing, if you have the right spacing. I haven't put a lot of effort into the design side of it yet because, like I said, I wanted to just see if it works. But we have placeholder text here, which is then mapped in our make scenario. So every time the scenario runs, it is calling on this template and it is creating the 7 designs. And you can play around with this by changing the font. You can change the positioning, change the coloring, change the alignment, make it your own. As always, I am so happy to share this creation with you. The agent and all the tools and the make blueprints will be available for you to download in Gumroad. So make this your own. Share it with me. I would love to see what you create. And please hit the subscribe button, give me a thumbs up, and leave a comment below on other tools, other agents that you would like to see me build, what you would find useful. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope you get a lot of value out of using this agent.